Hi, my name's Irene and I've been in Taiwan 29 years now. One thing I learned about culture was to celebrate when people here celebrate. In the early days, I used to invite people over at Christmas because that's when we celebrate and when we eat and have a good time. But I realized after a while that people didn't really feel the same about Christmas as we do. And so nowadays, I invite people over at Chinese New Year, which is just a few days ago, and people are happy to sit around and eat and laugh and play games and just relax because this is their time for festivity. An important part of Chinese culture is the concept of face. Face is a way of giving respect to someone. We've seen this in Taiwan where a short-term team came and they called their Bible college principal David. That's his name. But that's not giving him face. And it would be a cultural problem if the Taiwanese people saw that. So the way of giving face is to call people their titles, maybe even calling them older brother if they are older than you, or an uncle. So we've taught our children that they should call people who come to visit us Uncle so-and-so, or if they're doctors, Dr. so-and-so, or Pastor so-and-so, so that they give them face. One part of Chinese culture which is very common is for a woman who's given birth to stay in bed for a month to get rest. And this is not part of my culture. So when I had given birth to our second child, I was up doing things, mopping the kitchen, so forth, when the doorbell rang, and it was my Chinese teacher. So I jumped into bed and acted like I had been resting hard and just fulfilling the requirements of culture. You might wonder if that's hypocrisy, but in some ways I thought that is not my culture, to sit around resting for a whole month. Something I learned earlier on was to do things as part of the group instead of by myself. I had gone to a camp and there was a speaker and the other people were sitting at tables in the middle of the room listening to the speaker, but there were some comfortable chairs at the back. So I went and sat at the back, pretty much by myself. And after the meeting, I was told off. I should have been part of the group. Even though I had seen that people were not necessarily paying attention, they were doing other things on their computer, being part of the group was very important. So this is something that I learned earlier on.